Hello and welcome to Baseplate Reviews. We're doing something a little different today and taking a look at the changes that have been announced to the BrickLink Designer Program and what that could also mean for LEGO Ideas submissions and for LEGO sets in general into the future. Just in case you don't know what the BrickLink Designer Program is, I'll give a quick run through here. It's basically something similar to LEGO Ideas, which is where LEGO fans can submit designs using the BrickLink Studio software for potential approval to be made into LEGO sets, with successful designers getting a cut of the sales of those sets. Unlike with LEGO Ideas, these sets sit under the BrickLink brand name rather than LEGO, and are also only produced in limited numbers up to 30,000. We've just had Series 1 sets making their way to purchases, and you may have seen various YouTube channels reviewing sets like the Mountain Fortress or Old Train Engine Shed. Although that was officially Season 1 of the programme, there are actually 15 sets produced and released before that under the banner of the BrickLink Designer Program 2021 Invitational, with the most well known of those sets maybe being the modular LEGO store, the Mountain View Observatory and the modular construction site. And before even that, BrickLink and LEGO actually worked on another program in 2018 called the AFOL Designer Program, which released 13 sets including the 8 Studs House set, Lervenstein Castle and the Wild West Saloon. So all in all, the program has been going in some form or another for 6+ years, which means it's pretty established. It differs pretty significantly from LEGO Ideas in that when designs are approved, that they basically don't get changed by the LEGO designers, and that means there is a greater variation in building techniques and instructions than true LEGO sets. But it does mean the end designs stick much closer to the fan designer's original design than with LEGO Ideas, which often see considerable changes versus the original submissions. Okay, so we've run through what the BrickLink Designer Program is, and we've seen that it's well established. So why is it that a few days ago there have been big changes announced to the program? Well, this is all to do with an update to Series 6 of the program, which may seem crazy when people have only just started to receive their Series 1 sets, but understandably there is a lead time between designs being submitted, then selected, then crowdfunded, then finally produced and shipped several months later. It's why we've just had the crowdfunding or purchasing of the Series 2 designs, but won't see those sets arriving with customers until October or November. I ordered 2 each of the Brickcross Station and Mushroom House sets, and will get reviews up here on Baseplate Reviews. Anyway, back to that update for Series 6. This is for designs to be submitted in the September 16th to September 27th window for this year, and in my mind there are 2 really big changes to the programme, even though from what I've read so far, some people have only tended to focus in on the one big change and have somewhat overlooked the wider implications of the other. We'll get straight into it, and right off the bat, BrickLink/LEGO say at the top of these guideline changes that these are to do with them wanting to project a vision of a sustainable future, even whilst they continue to produce so many thousands of tons of plastic each year. Ahem. But this starts off pretty uncontroversial, with them not wanting you to submit designs showing harm to animals, although fishing is allowed, and also no submissions showing wild animals outside of their natural habitat, for example in circuses, zoos or aquariums. I can understand your SeaWorld style aquariums, but this update might even mean not showing home type fish tanks as they are aquariums, which is odd as LEGO themselves just had the Creative 3-in-1 fish tank on shelves not long ago at all. However, I think it's the third part of this that is potentially really impactful, and that is they want submissions to avoid highlighting fossil fuels like coal, oil and gas. And whilst historical transport can rely on these types of fuel, for example steam trains and presumably steamliners etc., any modern vehicles need to adhere to this guideline, saying that the propulsion method should be ambiguous if it's not from a sustainable power source. You might say that's great, climate change is happening and there's too much pollution. We should do anything which promotes cleaner solutions. I'm not here to agree or disagree at all on that matter. What is though of great importance here is that this could have wider implications than just the BrickLink Designer Program, as this is coming from LEGO, and them not wanting fan designers to produce this type of content suggests that they might not make any more of this themselves either. Now I don't think we've seen LEGO release sets with animals in zoos for around 10 years now, with the Duplo Zoo sub-theme seeing its last release in 2014, and for any wild animals that have been in other sets, even the box art is showing them in natural environments, such as polar bears and orcas in the Arctic Explorers City sub-theme recently. However, once we talk about not showing fossil fuels, then we put at risk LEGO gas stations, or petrol stations for us Brits. And these have been a staple of the LEGO group over the years, with some fondly remembered sets either labelled as gas stations or service stations, or at least having gas pumps as a substantial element of the set, even in sets such as the modular range with the corner garage. Octan is the gas company within LEGO lore, and the last station we saw from them was 2020's Service Station 60257, which contained gas pumps and also an electric charger, but since then we've only seen Octan in the Town Centre 60292 set, where it was the branding for the car wash and not a gas station. This change of guidelines does of course definitely affect the designer program, and would have meant at least one previously produced set would have seen substantial change, as the 1950s diner from the 2021 Invitational included a gas pump, so would have seen that excised completely. However, I'm more concerned that this could mean we never see LEGO produce another gas pump again in their official sets. They're quite happy to keep producing Speed Champions cars, which clearly are mostly gas-guzzling models, but you may have noticed that any buses or other public transport that they make tend to be electric powered, including this year's double-decker sightseeing bus and the downtown streetcar or tram. I've no problem with that at all, as it represents the real world pretty well, but as it stands, most personal vehicles, i.e. cars, are still gas powered, so it would be a pity if we can't see that represented in LEGO form anymore with iconic gas stations. Now for other people, the bigger news was around changes to the programme, basically making it near impossible to submit designs that are modular buildings or deemed too similar to modular buildings. As you might have noticed from previous approved and produced submissions, modular style buildings have been really popular, with that aforementioned modular LEGO store and modular construction site even having modular in their titles, but other sets previously approved have been modular too, including BrickLink Station, about to be sent out in the next few months, the retro bowling alley and the Venetian houses. Also, lots of the current submissions are modular in style, some of them again having modular in their titles, whilst others just adhere to modular standards. And BrickLink are pretty specific about this, saying that you could submit buildings, but they should not reflect the modular format, so not sitting on a 32x32 base plate, sidewalk with lamps, Technic connection points. On top of this, they've also specifically said submissions of buildings mustn't have modular in the title. If you add this to the fact that they've said no submissions should be based off the Ninjago, Friends, Dreams and Monkey Kid themes, although when I look I don't see people do this anyway, and on top of that, any castle or classic space type designs shouldn't include faction names, such as Lion Knights or Blacktron etc., it seems that LEGO are really wanting to make sure that the BrickLink sets aren't getting confused with official LEGO at all. It is slightly odd though, because as LEGO own BrickLink, these sets are kind of official LEGO. The other reason that may be behind this of course is that there were just too many designs being submitted that are in that modular format, and not just with the BrickLink program, but also LEGO Ideas too. If we scroll through some of the sets labelled as buildings on LEGO Ideas, you'll see that lots fit the modular style. Yet even though we see some of these with staff pick labels, LEGO never actually go on to approve these into actual Ideas sets. Could we see them introduce a similar rule to submissions for LEGO Ideas? I actually think it would be fairer to Ideas fan creators rather than let them waste their time making modular compatible designs that won't be approved. This is of course speculation, but I think it's informed speculation. BrickLink actually have a webinar about Series 6 set up for Monday the 5th. Hopefully I'll have this video out just before it, and I've signed up, so I'll be trying to hear if there's anything more to this and if we can expect changes to the programme being indicative of changes across the LEGO group and the types of sets they will produce in the future. I really hope you enjoyed this video, like I say, something a bit different, and that it's given you something to think about. Let me and the other viewers know your thoughts in the comments below, and drop a like if you've enjoyed it. Outside of this, I should have 2 reviews coming up soon, just waiting on a couple of sets to arrive. And I've been working on a modular style mock, just don't tell the LEGO group. So to check out those upcoming videos, hit the subscribe button. And with that, I'll leave you, and as always, be